Imagine a commercial flight, a routine journey high above the clouds, suddenly descending into a nightmare of paranoia, sickness, and an unimaginable horror. What if the greatest threat wasn't a mechanical failure, but something ancient and predatory, lurking unseen, waiting for its moment to strike? Welcome back, cinematic explorers, to a deep dive into the chilling depths of a creature feature that will make you rethink your next flight. Today, we're dissecting every terrifying moment and hidden detail of Altitude 2026, a film where a simple plane journey becomes a desperate fight for survival. Buckle up, because this recap is going to take us through turbulence far beyond anything a weather forecast could predict. Our story begins with passengers settling into Vero Airlines Flight 298, bound for New York from Seattle, with some discussing mundane things like French vacations. Among them is a young girl, Chloe, expressing anxiety about her parents' relationship, hinting at underlying emotional stress. The atmosphere is initially typical of any busy airport, with announcements and chatter filling the air. However, a small hiccup occurs as a flight to New Orleans is delayed due to a mechanical issue, a phrase that will soon gain ominous weight. We meet Jeremy, a passenger whose casual observations introduce us to another, more obnoxious traveler. He and his friends, including Emma, are flying after what sounds like a wild time, trying to bounce back from their adventures. As the plane prepares for departure, the pilots note the age of the older airframes, highlighting a sense of weariness and vulnerability. The usual safety briefing unfolds, but a passenger named Chen interjects with a conspiratorial warning about cosmic radiation and government lies. A flight attendant asks a man to turn off his camera, leading to a flirty, then confrontational exchange, establishing early tension. Finally airborne, the plane reaches its cruising altitude, and the passengers settle in, unaware of the lurking dread. Jeremy, noticing the young girl Chloe, offers her water as she sits alone, a gesture of kindness that forms an early bond. A brief, unsettling moment occurs when a passenger coughs violently, and a disoriented woman tries to go to the bathroom in the first-class section. Chloe, now sitting next to Jeremy, asks him riddles and shares her love for graphic novels, creating a sweet, innocent connection amidst the growing unease. She lists her favorite comic books, establishing her as a bright, imaginative child, before a muffled coughing fit nearby breaks the calm. Chloe, with surprising perceptiveness, asks Jeremy about his wife, noticing subtle cues of marital strain, which he deflects. Soon, an urgent knock comes from the cockpit area. A crew member is checking on a passenger who has been unresponsive. Inside, a man is clearly ill, expressing a feverish sensation, prompting the crew to offer aspirin and water. As Chloe goes to the bathroom, the sick passenger's coughing intensifies, leading another flight attendant, Emma, to relocate. Emma approaches Jeremy, complimenting him on how he handled the digits guy earlier, a moment of shared human connection. Chloe's mother, relieved, thanks Jeremy for looking after her daughter, further solidifying the bond between the passengers. Later, Emma joins Jeremy for coffee, and they share a playful moment over a card game, enjoying a brief respite from the flight's escalating oddities. The obnoxious passenger from earlier reappears, angrily confronting the flight attendant, just as the sick man's coughing fit turns dire. Suddenly, a loud electrical crackle fills the cabin, and the sick man, in a panicked outburst, warns everyone, it's not safe. His frantic cries that "we're all gonna die up here" send a ripple of fear through the plane, and he collapses. The man then attempts to force his way into the cockpit, alarming everyone before collapsing again, spitting blood. Jeremy, a medical student, steps forward to assist, finding the man not breathing, and attempts CPR with a flight attendant. An air marshal reveals himself, stating that the man has died and, surprisingly, that he cannot be declared dead until landing. The dead body is stored in a sleeping compartment, an unsettling detail that further stresses the passengers. Meanwhile, the obnoxious passenger and his friend, instead of being scared, see the incident as YouTube gold and try to film it. A passenger voices a chilling question: what if the dead man had something contagious, deepening the sense of dread? Eerie sounds begin emanating from the cargo hold, dogs barking, howling, then a sudden, unnatural silence followed by a strange clatter. A crew member checks the cargo hold's climate, noting everything looks green, but admitting something's off, adding to the mystery. Jeremy confides in Emma, sharing his unsettling experience of seeing lights in the clouds that were moving, distinct from lightning. Chloe also reports feeling unwell, complaining of a severe headache and ear pain, and is found to be running a fever. The crew begins to question Chloe and Jeremy separately about their symptoms, particularly Jeremy's hallucinations of moving lights. Chloe confirms seeing the pretty colors and flashing and bright lights, similar to fireworks, causing her head to hurt. Alarmingly, Chloe is found to have a ruptured eardrum, bleeding, and Jeremy also shows signs of bleeding, suggesting a shared, physiological effect. The captain announces a diversion to Dallas-Fort Worth due to a medical emergency and an outbreak, heightening panic. The obnoxious passenger demands to speak to the pilot, accusing the crew of wrongdoing, further disrupting order. Suddenly, intense electrical interference plagues the plane, causing ear pain and chaos. The air marshal physically restrains the unruly passenger, who now has a disturbingly bloodshot, deformed eye, a grotesque sign of the contagion. The pilots, observing distorted radio chatter, question military tests in their flight path, but ATC confirms no tests are scheduled. Jeremy's distress escalates as he sees the lights again, now above us, convinced there's something up here, but other passengers dismiss him. A chilling update from ATC confirms that military tests were cancelled, meaning the strange phenomena are not man-made. The radar shows no storm, yet a Category 5 hurricane forms directly in front of the plane, defying all logic and technology. Amidst screams, the captain announces an emergency descent, as the electrical systems begin to fail completely. The co-pilot goes to check breakers below deck, and horrifying, strange gurgling sounds emerge from the cargo hold. The flight attendant tries to reassure passengers, admitting some are sick but advising calm, while noticing a strange glint in one woman's eyes. Panic truly erupts when passengers realize the pilots aren't responding, leading to fears no one is flying the plane. The air marshal confronts Jeremy, accusing him of being sick due to his proximity to the initial victim, fueling paranoia. He rushes to the cockpit, only to recoil in horror, indicating something terrible has happened to the pilots. Jeremy sees an unknown entity behind him, and the entire cabin experiences a terrifying shift, throwing passengers violently. The plane miraculously lands, but in a strange, silent, and dark location, leaving everyone disoriented. Chloe questions the absence of familiar lights, deepening the mystery of their whereabouts. A passenger demands an update from the captain, but an informed man suggests they are in a quarantine zone, a black site. He theorizes they've been infected with a new, man-made contagion, and are to be silenced, alive or in body bags. The air marshal attempts to assert control, but the passengers resist, demanding the truth. She confesses her own ignorance, stating she has no idea what's happening, adding to the collective fear. A horrifying sound, flesh-ripping, emanates from the cockpit, and the air marshal emerges covered in blood, heightening fears of contagion. Jeremy points out the dead man's pacemaker, leading to a crucial realization: the electrical interference, not an infection, caused the symptoms. They deduce that a powerful frequency is disrupting electrical impulses, causing physical symptoms and interfering with flight controls. One passenger argues it's not a solar storm, correctly pointing out it's night, ruling out a natural phenomenon. Jeremy concludes they are not infected, but acknowledges that they don't know that outside the plane. A desperate plan forms: write "we are not infected" on paper and hold them up to the windows, hoping for rescue. Terrifyingly, heavy footsteps are heard on the plane's roof, and an unearthly howling signals a new threat. A monstrous entity attempts to break into the cabin, its otherworldly thrumming filling the air with dread. Passengers scramble to find rope to secure the cabin door against the creature's relentless assault. A crew member named Taylor is tragically pulled out when the door is opened, despite warnings, signaling the creatures are now inside. Smoke fills the cabin, and oxygen masks deploy, adding to the chaos as passengers fight for air. Jeremy and the air marshal organize an evacuation to the back of the plane, using a manual release to get to a safer section. The creature, revealed to have tentacles stabbing and slicing, attacks passengers in the main cabin, a horrific bloodbath. The air marshal deploys the sleeping gas, believing it will make people fall asleep, but Jeremy suspects the creature is unaffected. Chloe, in a heartbreaking moment, asks if her mother is dead, after seeing the creature attack her. They realize the creature is smart, having disarmed the air marshal, and they hear creatures crawling within the plane. Inside the cargo hold, they find terrifying, chittering creatures, no longer dogs, but something alien and monstrous. One of the creatures attacks a passenger, making a gagging sound as it takes hold, and the victim claims she can hear them in my head. Opening the cargo door reveals a shocking truth: they never landed, but are floating in an unknown, ethereal void. A desperate search for parachutes yields only clothes, until Jeremy discovers a coffin containing his wife's body. He reveals a tragic backstory: his wife died in a camping accident, and he's tormented by leaving her to get help. Miraculously, they find parachutes, but not enough for everyone, leading to a wrenching decision. Jeremy insists Chloe and her mother get the parachutes, preparing for a selfless sacrifice. He instructs Chloe to leave her mother a message, assuring her she'll be on the ground. Safe, a poignant farewell. But a horrific twist occurs. Chloe's mother, now distorted, calls to her, wanting her to open this door, to be together again. The possessed mother explains, "I'm sharing myself is all," revealing the alien entity's true nature of parasitic assimilation. Jeremy desperately tries to stop Chloe from opening the door, as the air marshal tells him to take the box and jump. Jeremy pushes Chloe and her mother out of the plane, sacrificing himself to ensure their escape. Back at ATC, Flight 298 mysteriously reappears on radar, reporting transponder problems and health concerns clear. The plane, now seemingly normal, is cleared for an emergency landing, raising suspicions. Jeremy, having survived, now confronts Emma and the pilots, who are clearly possessed, their eyes glowing. He tries to stop them, realizing the full scope of the alien invasion. Emma, now an alien host, warns him off, fully embracing her new, terrifying form. Jeremy hijacks the plane, triggering a code 7500 for hijacking, intending to crash it and prevent the aliens from reaching the ground. The possessed pilots fight Jeremy, trying to activate the Autoland system, but he struggles to maintain control. He screams that Autoland is what they wanted, realizing the aliens plan to land the infested plane. As Jeremy fights, the alien voices proclaim their inevitable victory: "We can't be stopped." They reveal their insidious strategy, arriving every minute, without ever raising suspicion. The chilling truth is laid bare: your kind won't know we came, until we're ready, taking the world one body at a time. Jeremy, in his final moments, shouts to the rescuers that they're not human. They're not us, as the screen fades to black. And there you have it, the harrowing journey of Flight 298, a terrifying testament to unseen horrors and the ultimate sacrifice. If this deep dive into Altitude 2026 left you unsettled and looking over your shoulder, then our mission is accomplished. What did you think of the ending? Did Jeremy make the right choice? Let me know your theories and thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends who love a good scare, and subscribe for more movie recaps and explanations. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into cinematic terror. Until next time, stay safe, and maybe take the train.